Assalamualaikum and hi. Good morning, students.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning, teacher.
So, how are you today?
I'm
fine,
fine,
teacher.
teacher. Thank you for asking.
Do you feel good, excited for today's class?
Yeah,
Absolutely,
I'm
teacher.
excited to learn today, teacher.
Okay, good to hear that. So, before we start our lessons and class for today, first I will introduce myself. My name is NURUL binti SHAFIE, and you can call me Teacher Ikin. And this is my partner, IZZAH binti ROSLIN. You can call her Teacher IZZAH. So, can you volunteer who wants to introduce yourself first?
Okay, so teacher, I will volunteer myself. I want to introduce myself
Okay.
first. Okay, so my name is Ahmad Fahim Naqidil bin Ibrahim, and teachers and my friends can call me Fahim.
Okay.
My name is Muhammad Zuhaili bin Nurhadi, and you can call me Zuhaili.
Okay. I will call you Fahim and I will call Zuhaili Zul. Okay. So now before our start our lesson, can you guess what's topic that we will learn for today class?
I think it's about short story.
Yes, that's right. Okay, now I think maybe both of you already ready to start our lesson for today. Okay, so this is our learning objective. Can someone read this learning objective?
I will read the first one, teacher.
Okay.
Okay. The first learning objective that we will focus on for today is about learning and understand the elements of literature.
Good.
So, Fahim?
Okay, teacher, I will read the second objective. So the second objective for today's lesson is analyzing the settings and characters in the short story.
Yes, that's right. We have two objectives. Okay, now we can move to the next slide. Okay, as you can see on this slide, there are two pictures that shows past and present. Okay, so I want to ask both of you, what is the difference between these two pictures?
I think the first difference between these two pictures is for the first pictures that we can see is black and white pictures. So I think it's happened in the past, and so for the second picture it has color. So I guess that it happened, or it seems to be the in today times.
Yes, that's right.
For me, I can see that in the past, Tanjong used to have a harbor and a lot of ships there, but on present time, there's no ship or harbor nearby. It's just a modern, what do you call it? Modern structure.
Yes, for the present it looks more modern, but I want you to know that for prisons it's also have a ship because it's also a harbor for the present time. Okay, now we will move to the next slide. So we will start our activity. Okay, now I want you imagine what you see in the binoculars that related to Tanjong. So I want you to pretend that you are holding a binocular and start to imagine that. Okay. Ooh. Can you see anything in that binocular? Okay.
Yes, teacher.
Now I want now I want someone to volunteer what they see in that binocular. Okay, but I want Fahim to share the
Okay. So the things that I see when I use the binoculars is I see a sheeps, and I also see a harbor, and also people who are doing their things in that place.
Okay, how about you, Zul?
I can see crystal blue water and maybe a lot of ships on the sea.
Yes, that's right, because Tanjong near at the sea. Okay, now I will pass the next lesson to teacher IZZAH.
Hello everyone.
Hello, Teacher
Hello,
Izzah.
teacher.
Okay, so now we are going to start our lesson. So today we are going to teach you about the literature components, which is settings and characters. So first, let's look at the definition of settings. Is a time period in which a story's action takes place, such as when and where did the story happen. Settings helps to give the reader with background information about the storyline. Do you understand that?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
teacher.
Okay then, let's look how we should identify settings in the story through this picture I gave to you. So remember that I said just now, settings is a place that happened in the story. So based on this picture, where do you think this incident happened? Someone can volunteer to answer my questions just now.
I think it's happened in the lake that freeze. I think maybe.
Hmm? Okay,
Mm,
that's a great
I
answer. How about you, Zul?
I think uh this happened in somewhere cold and snowy season.
Yes, that is also a correct answer. It seems like you both already understand how to identify setting in a story. Okay, then shall we move on?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. So next we are going to learn about what is character in a short story. Okay, so character can be people, animal, or also creature that appear in the story. But the only thing that separates character is they are able to think and feel. For example, in a story, there are people and there are toys, but the story only focus on the people because the people can talk and think in the story. So that's what separates them. So characters can help readers to understand storylines and also consider themes by guiding them through their stories. Do you understand or not?
Yes, teacher. I understand.
Okay, how about you, Zul? Do you understand?
Yes, teacher. I understand.
Okay, so let's look. Do you really understand how to identify a character? So, based on this picture, can you identify who is the characters in the story?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, but there's three Spider-Mans here.
Yes, it seems like you already understand the character concept in a short story. So, let's move on to the settings and characters in Tanjong. Are you ready?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
I'm ready.
Okay. Now, can someone read who's the characters in characters? Who's want to volunteer first?
Let me do the first one.
Okay.
Okay. The first character in Tanjong Guru is Mr. T.W. Lee. He is the main character for the short story. He is one of Ahmad's son. He have a logical and organized way of doing things in life, and he also prefers simple life. Second is Ahma, which is Mr. Lee's mother and also grandmother to Yin. She can be said as a treasure of the family, but she have a stubborn trait in her.
That's good. Thank Thank you, Zul. Next, shall we continue with Fahim?
Okay, I will read the third and the last character. So the third character is Ying. So Ying is Mr. Lee's daughter, and she's going to further study in New York. And she is also loving and caring, but also strong-headed. So, and the last character is Helen. So, Helen is Mr. Lee's wife. She doesn't seem to respect Mr. Lee, and she is also love to socialize with friends.
Great job, Fahim. It seems like now can you understand who is the characters in Tanjong RHU'S?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
Okay,
teacher.
now let's look about the settings in Tanjong RHU'S short story. Okay, so it seems like I also need someone to volunteer to read this first. Anyone?
Okay, so teacher, I will read the first paragraph. Okay, so Tanjong Ru. So it is published in 1986. The story is set in Singapore, and the time frame goes back and forth between the present after the death of Ahmad and the past before the death of Ahmad. Okay.
Okay, I will continue for the second part. The most important location mentioned in Tanjong Ru, which is a shipping port in Singapore where Mr. Lu grew up. In the present day, it is filled with tall buildings and skyscrapers. However, 80 years ago, Tanjong Ru only had small shipyards where fishing boats were built. Mr. Lee's father owned such a shipyard.
Great one. Thank you for volunteering, guys. Okay, then now I'll continue to explain the settings in Tanjong RHU'S. So, besides of Tanjong RHU, we also have Mr. Lee's office, where Hama visits the office to try and see Tanjong RHU, where her children grow up. It is also mentioned that Mr. Lee's office is located on the 18th floor above Shenton Way at the Central Business District in Singapore. Next is also Mr. Lee's house, where Mr. Lee presents the new binoculars to his mother in the garden. And it also mentioned that Mr. Lee has a big house with many rooms, a garden, and also a swimming pool. There are also two settings that is mentioned in the story, such as the outer room. In this outer room, it is really important in the story because it's where Ahma performs her daily prayers. It was also the place where Yin argues with her grandmother because she will not let Yin help with the joysticks. And finally, there's also the hospital's room, which is very sad in the story because this is the place where Ahmad passes away, and it's also mentioned in the story that Mr. Lee visits his dying mother and tries to ask her about his childhood in Tanjong Ru. Now, do you still remember what is the settings and characters in Tanjong Ru?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Now we have come to the most exciting part of today's lesson, which is the activity time. Now, the first activity. Based on the short story Tanjong Ru, can you tell me who is your favorite character and why? I need one volunteer only. Anyone?
Okay, so I will go first, teacher. Okay,
Okay.
so my favorite character is Mr. Lee, because Mr. Lee is a very responsible person that he always take care of his mother, that is Ahma, and he also seems to take care of Ahma very carefully and with loving. And at the end of the story, we can see how he put her that mother picture beside his father picture.
Great answer, Fahim. It seems like you're going to be a very responsible son to your parents. Okay, the
Wow.
next question, I think I'm going to ask Zul for this one. Can you tell me where is your favorite setting of the short story and why?
Okay. Um, my favorite setting for the story is Mr. Lee Old's house in Tanjong Rhu. The reason why I say this is my favorite setting is because this is where Mr. Lee grown up and where his mother have her most memorable memories with her son and her husband at Tanjong Rhu.
Great answers, Wilzu. It seems like you're a really emotional person when it comes to reading a story. Now, let's move on to the next activity, which is the Jamboard time. But first, I'm gonna send you the link. Guys. Begitu kan tuh sepatutnya.
Yeah.
Students, have you finished your answer?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, then let's look to your answer first, shall we?
Yes, let's go.
Answers and similarities between Tanjong Rhu's character, which is Mr. T.W. Lee or Mr. Lee and Ahmad. So I want you to volunteer to read out loud your answers. So who wants to volunteer first?
Me, teacher.
Okay, so you can continue.
Okay. I will start with the Tanjong Rhu's character differences. Okay, the first is Mr. Lee have a more modern way of life, while Ahmad is more towards conservative way of life. The second difference is Mr. Lee has a black hair, while Ahmad have a white hair.
Good answer, Sul. Now, how about you, Fahim?
Okay, so I will go next. So the Tanjong Rhu characters similarities is the similarities between Mr. Lee and Ahmad is they both care to each other or care about each other. And the second one, they are very responsible person. And the last one is Ahmad and Mr. Lee are both Chinese.
Right answers from Fahim. Now, we will continue to the next activity. I will hand the next activity to Teacher Ikin.
Okay, this is our third activity. So this time we are going to use the Kahoot application. So there are 5 questions and each question provides one image that related to the settings of Tanjong Rhu. So I want both of you pick the right answers based on the question given. So this is the Kahoot code 7697869. Okay, if you are ready, you can tell me and then we can go to Kahoot.
Yes, teacher, I'm ready.
Yes.
What
teacher.
about you, Zu? Okay,
Yes.
now we can go to Kahoot. Okay, so let's start. Okay, Tanjong Rhu's setting. 3, 2, 1. Okay, where did Ahmad's children grow up? Tanjung Aru, Tanjong Rus, Tanjong Lipat, and Kuala Terengganu. Okay, we have times. Okay, good job both of you. So the answer is Tanjong Rus. Okay, we will move to the next question. Wow, Suhaili is on the top. Okay, next. Where is Tanjong Rhu located at? 1. Singapore. 2. Malaysia. Wow! So fast, both of you. Okay, so brilliant. Okay, next. Oh, wow. Okay. Does Mr. Lee live in a big and modern house with a swimming pool in the garden? Okay. Is it true or false? Wow, true. So brilliant. Okay, next. So Hailey still on the top. Okay, where did Ying argue with her grandmother? The swimming pool, the big house, the outer room, and the office. Wow, the other room. So it seems both of you already understand the setting and about the characters of the Tanjong. Okay, our last question. Kitchen, office, big house, and hospital. Wow, hospital room. Next. Fahim. Good. Okay, one is Zuhaili, but never mind, both of you already did a great job because no one did a false answer. Okay, give a big applause to yourself. Okay. Okay, now to wrap up our lesson, so we will do the last activity, which is our first activity. Next. Next slide. Okay, so for our last question is, what will you do if you experience the same situation like Ahmad and Ahwa with your parents? What you will do? So who wants to answer it first? Fahim or Zul?
Okay, let me answer it first. Okay, so what will I do if I experience the same situation like Ahmad and Ahwa or Mr. Lee with my parents? So, if I face the similar situation, I will try to be more considerate to, especially my mother, and I will take care of my mother with love and care forever. So that
Wow.
is my answer.
Okay, I think you will be a good son to your parents. Okay, now
Thank you, teacher.
Zuhaili.
Okay, for my opinion, I will try to have a stable work-life balance so that I have time to spend with both of my parents and my own family. And also, I will try to give an equal care for both my parents and also my own family.
Yes, that's also a good answer, Zul. Okay, give me a big applause to yourself. Okay, so now I want to ask both of you, did you enjoy the today's lesson?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
I
teacher.
do
We
enjoy
enjoy it
the
very
lesson.
much.
And did you already know about the elements of literature like settings and character? And did you understand it well?
Yes, I think from
Yes,
today's lesson
absolutely,
that
teacher.
I get to understand characters, settings, and the other things better.
Okay, so that's all from us. Thank you for joining Teacher Ikin and Teacher IZZAH class for today. So that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you, teacher.
teacher.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome.